The only one that was killed was a beautiful young lady named Ashley Babbitt. She was killed, and there was actually somebody else that was killed, also a MAGA person, but people don't give it 100% credibility. I'm going to find out about it, and we're going to find out. But Ashley Babbitt was killed. She was shot.
So we've talked a lot about Ashley Babbitt. It's a cause and a person and family near and dear to my heart. I will admit, though, President Trump was talking about Rosanne Boyland, and I have not paid as much attention because, like President Trump said, it's perhaps not as clear cut. But, now that we're hopefully going to have an investigation into what really happened, and Ashley Babbitt, that matter we know is hopefully being taken care of. What about her? I'm so glad that President Trump is looking into this. Here she is on January 6th, and here she is again on January 6th. Now, okay. So the arrow, unfortunately, is pointing in the wrong direction. Take it full if you don't mind. I want you to look at two things here. The circle, that's Rosanne Boyland on the ground, okay? And you see that kind of white patch? That's actually her stomach. She's on the ground, unconscious. Now take that arrow, all right, and let's pretend it's pointing in the other direction. It's pointing to the right, not the left. See the person in yellow, the yellowish jacket? That's a police officer. We believe a Metro police officer who was about to beat that woman unconscious who's on the ground with a stick. All right, a police officer is going to beat her with a stick. I've never seen this before until yesterday. Take a look. I want to see it again. Do you mind? Let's take a look. I know it's a little bit chaotic, but look closely at her, and a stick seems to be coming down at the hands of a cop. One more time, please, for me now. It's not as bad as Rodney King, right? With 5 cops, but that's really bad. And I'm sorry to say, I'm only seeing some of this stuff for the first time. And something else happened. There are people there trying to save her life, perform CPR. Actually, that's kind of just interesting in and of itself. Watch.
Pull Rosanne away from the police to do CPR on her as the police continue to spray pepper gas on the protesters.
They're performing CPR on this person, and then they try to bring her into the safety of the building, saying that she's dying. And from the video I've seen so far, it looks like they drag her inside, drag her. It's a chaotic situation, whatever. And then they can't seem to figure out how to use the defibrillators, those things that you put on the heart when it's stopped. It's the kind of thing you want your police up to speed on, right? It's part of their standard issue. This is what happened. They don't know how to use the equipment that they have, it looks like, from the video. And remember this, it appears as though just a few moments earlier, Rosanne Boyland was being beaten by a police officer for no reason that we can surmise. Maybe we'll enhance this or have it enhanced, or they'll slow it down, they'll magnify it, they'll do all kinds of stuff to find out what's really going on here. But it looks like they just beat her up, and then they were incompetent when it came to resuscitating her. Who did not ask one damn question about any of this? The January 6th committee. That sham that they put the American people through, and so many people bought it. So many. And that Ashley Babbitt and Rosanne Boyland by a committee in primetime television would never have been mentioned. And all of the things that they lied to us about, and those crisis actors, the J6 cops, Benone and the rest, that scam, and bringing in Cassidy Hutchinson, who I think we have shown is deceitful at best, Caroline Edwards, another one. They played games with the American people, the clever casting, bringing in certain people, playing identity politics. And then George Floyd, right? George Floyd. This guy was a career criminal. I mean, I know it's not related to January 6th, but that guy was glorified beyond all recognition, beyond anything that's reasonable. And Ashley Babbitt and Rosanne Boyland are just ignored. And to the extent that they are acknowledged by pretty much anybody except President Trump, it's, oh, FA and FO, right? All that stuff, that somehow the police were justified in any of this. Now, how could anybody in our society actually think that? How could they not have compassion for these two women? One on the right, beaten by a cop, and the other on the left, shot by a cop, and we have evidence. Well, you may notice that they happen to be women and they're also white. And after Black Lives Matter summer and this country just derailed itself, you could go on national television and say nonsense like this and get promoted.
This is a typical case of a white womaning, right? So we see the disrespect, we see the privilege.
White women have taken an active role in the maintenance of white supremacy.
When you're a white woman and you're a Republican, there's just certain stuff culturally that you don't know jack bleep about.
And my advice to white women is mind your own goddamn business.
How about that, huh? And people like, I think Ashley and Rosanne Boyland, they were the brunt of this. The people like them. They have no status anymore in our, everybody's supposed to be judged independently, on the inside, not the outside. Did you see those two ladies, by the way, on MSNBC? Right? This is the ultimate, right? Wealthy white women putting down other white women, usually of lesser economic means. That is really disgusting. Can we go back to the January 6th crowd? This is an American tragedy. We know the January 6th commission was fake. I'm hearing about some sort of feud between Speaker Johnson, who doesn't really want to go into the details, and Congressman Loudermilk, who is committed to finding out every little bitty thing that happened. I'm with Loudermilk and the rest. This thing just can't be forgotten. They rearranged society as a result of this nonsense. And anyway, we'll do whatever we can to help. And the Rosanne Boyland thing has really gotten my attention. And I'm sorry I was
new to everybody. It's not. Those who have really been closely following January 6th know what I'm about to say, but a lot of people don't. And we got to get to the bottom of it and get justice for Rosanne. I think we're going to get it for Ashley. We got to get it for Rosanne Boyland as well. Be right back. So there she is, Rosanne Boyland, still learning about her and learning what happened to her on January 6th. It was despicable how so many people were set up. I can't still believe that they gave medals out to the cops and raises and promotions. She died on January 6th, and we don't know the full story. Learning it, though, she was hit grievously, it seems, by a police officer. Now, let's set this up. There she is, and I showed you this last night. Rosanne Boyland is on the ground. That white spot, that's her body. She's a little bit overweight. And the person on the right, the arrow in the yellow jacket, that is the police officer, and we've identified that police officer. It's said to be Lila Morris. Her name has come up in court documents and has been reported elsewhere. And it appears to us as though she is hitting a woman who is unconscious with a stick repeatedly. The Justice Department took a look at this and found that she did nothing wrong. It doesn't look like she did anything right. This looks, how wrong can you be? One more time, if you don't mind. So Officer Lila Morris, and it looks like she actually is not with the Capitol Police, but with the Metropolitan Police Department. They say our actions were reasonable, were valid. It doesn't seem that way. And it seems incredibly insulting and kind of infuriating that a little over a month after this, she went to the Super Bowl along with Officer Fanone and Hodges. This is before the January 6 hearings and all that stuff. It's like I don't know, that this plan was worked out ahead of time and we're going to pet these people and celebrate them. You just saw what she did. It's kind of crazy. Ashley Babbitt was shot by a Capitol Hill police officer. Rosanne Boyland, well, we know this, that she was hit by a Metropolitan police officer. And we're finding out more about what happened to her on that day and how she was abused. Still can't believe it that law enforcement received promotions and raises as a result of that day. It's pretty insane. All right. If you know anything about this, please contact Newsmax. All right. We are taking a good hard look at everything. And I personally would love it if Congress would investigate this thing for real, or maybe there's got to be a presidential commission, a real one, to look into everything that happened. It has destroyed so many lives. It's great that those pardons were issued. It's awesome that those pardons were issued, but there's so much we don't know. Be right back.